3, 2, and go. Good evening and welcome to today's special report on climate change and sustainability. My name is Victor Wanda, and in the next few minutes, we'll take you through the latest global commitments, regional actions, and what they mean for the future of our planet and for us right here at home. Let's begin with China, the world's largest emitter of greenhouse gases. President Xi Jinping recently announced an updated climate pledge that has attracted global attention. China is committing to reduce its green gas emissions by between 7 to 10% by the year 2035 relative to its peak. In addition, the country plans to ensure that more than 30% of its energy will come from non-fossil fuel sources such as wind, solar, and nuclear power. To put this in perspective, that is a dramatic increase from the current share. China has also pledged to expand its solar and wind capacity to nearly 3.6 billion kilowatts. That's about 6 times what it had installed in 2020. Meanwhile, the world's largest climate financing institution, the Green Climate Fund, has announced its biggest investment round to date. The fund will release 1.2 billion US dollars across the projects in Africa and in Asia. This project will focus on renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and green bonds to support eco-friendly investments. The fund also says it is speeding up the approval process for local institutions that want to access to financing. Instead of waiting nearly 3 years, application could now be processed in under 9 months. That means community, especially in developing countries, can start projects faster, whether it's building clean energy grids, planting forests, and protecting water resources. Another major development is happening in the shipping industry. The International Maritime Organization is preparing for global carbon pricing framework that will apply from 2028. This policy will cover ships weighing over 5,000 tons, which account for about 85% of all shipping emissions worldwide. The proposed price is set at around 100 US dollars per ton of carbon dioxide equivalent. This measure could transform the global shipping sector, encouraging cleaner fuel, more efficient vessel, and reduction in one of the world's biggest but often overlooked sources of pollution. And now let's shift closer home, Kenya. Kenya recently submitted its second National Determination Contribution to or NDC to the United Nations. This is essentially our climate action plan for the coming decade. Kenya is committing to cut greenhouse gas emissions by 35% by the year 2035. That translates to roughly 75 million tons of carbon dioxide avoided compared to the usual path we would have taken. The estimated cost of this plan is about 56 billion US dollars. Kenya is intending to fund around 20% from the domestic resources, but the majority, close to 80%, will require international support. Later this month, Nairobi will host the Climate Action Summit 2025 at the School of Government. This goal is to align national and county government, attract green investment, and showcase ongoing projects such as the Nairobi River regeneration. It will also lay the foundation for a new climate action delivery unit designed to ensure that our commitments lead to measurable actions. Beyond Kenya and Africa continent will gather in Addis Ababa this September for the Africa Climate Summit, also known as ACS2. The theme this year is Green Talks and Green Actions. emphasizing that Africa is not just a victim of climate change, but a leader in innovation, adaptation, and mitigation strategies. Across the initiative, a few themes stand out. First, there is a global shift from promises to implementation. Countries are no longer just setting targets, they are beginning to build mechanisms like carbon pricing, financing structure, and monitoring units to actually deliver results. Second, financing remains the single biggest challenge. Developing countries like Kenya and many across Africa have ambitious goals but rely heavily on external support to make them a reality. Third, technology and innovation are taking center stage, from clean energy grids to nature-based solutions like reforestation. Governments and private investors are focusing on projects that both reduce emissions and create jobs. And finally, equity and justice are becoming central. The push for climate action must also ensure that vulnerable communities, farmers, informal workers, and low-income families are supported through this transition. So, whether it is China massive renewable rollout, global funds investing in clean energy, or Kenya preparing to host landmark summit, the world is accelerating its response to climate change. The road ahead is not easy, but every step, every innovation, and every partnership bring us closer to a more sustainable future. That's for all this special climate and sustainability update. I'm yours, Victor Wanda. Thank you for watching, and remember, building a greener tomorrow begins with the choice we make today.